if you already have a brand and you're looking to get on Amazon and you don't understand the back end of Amazon, you don't understand all of the bull crap that Amazon throws your way, all of the different moving pieces, that's where it really can make sense for you to find a selling partner on Amazon who knows Amazon in and out and can just buy your products from you wholesale and then handle the rest from there.
E-commerce is the greatest business opportunity of our generation.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Ecom Unlimited podcast. Today, it is just the boys, me and Josh. Josh, how you doing on this fine, what's today, Tuesday? Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, 60 degrees, can't complain.
I know we had a snow squall yesterday. That was pretty crazy, and now it's 30 degrees warmer.
Yeah, it's wild. Crazy.
Yep. Shout out to the weather in the Northeast, but I'm ready for spring.
I'm ready for Miami.
Yes. By the time you guys hear this, Miami Sellers Conference would have passed, but we're flying down to Miami for the Miami Sellers Conference, and we'll be talking on a panel on transitioning from online arbitrage to wholesale, which we're very excited about. Last year was our first year attending, and now we managed to get in a small speaking slot. So super stoked about that.
Yeah, very stoked about that. Now, Cajua, we're talking today about why brands need an Amazon partner. All right. So I'm just going to open up the floor. Open-ended question. Why do brands need a future, or why do brands need an Amazon partner, and what are the benefits of that?
Yeah, definitely. So we've talked about this in some previous episodes as well, and on social media too, but we really see the future of selling on Amazon being partnering directly with small or medium size, and if you're a bigger seller, large brands as well. And the reason for that is multifaceted from the seller's perspective, but also there are reasons for that from the brand's perspective, which is what we're going to be talking about more so today. And from a brand's perspective, there are two different types of brands that fall into the category of needing a selling partner on Amazon. So one is going to be a brand that's already on Amazon and they're trying to grow, whether it's just growing on Amazon or going into other channels as well, whether that's Walmart online, Walmart brick and mortar, Target, Shopify, TikTok Shop, wherever they're trying to sell. And as they're growing, as they're expanding, obviously Amazon in itself is a beast, but then trying to become truly multi-channel and deal with all of those different platforms, it can just be a lot for a small team to handle. Yeah. So that's where it makes sense for that sort of brand to partner with a seller on Amazon who's an expert in Amazon, understands logistics, understands how to build listings and run ads, and then can not only purchase their products wholesale and help boost that brand's cash flow, but also be kind of like an agency for that brand as well and bring in the brand management side of it too. And then so that can be a situation where if it's like a private label brand and they're looking to transition, or it can be a brand that already has multiple resellers on their listings. But then, as we all know, when there are multiple sellers on the listing, the way the buy box is designed is to drive the price down. But brands want to hold a certain price, their minimum advertising price, in order to protect the perceived value of their products and of the brand. And so one way to protect price is to lock down your supply chain, have one or two exclusive sellers, and that way you don't worry about price taking and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's really big for them, especially not everybody piling on the listing. Some people might be having some sort of customers might be having like some complaint, maybe some, authentic complaints and all that kind of stuff. So making sure all their products are legit, coming straight from them. That's massive for them as they look 100%. For, different areas to sell their products.
Yep, 100%. And then the other kind of brand would be one that's not selling on Amazon. Maybe they launched on TikTok Shop. maybe they launched brick and mortar and then now they're trying to get into e-commerce and they realize, that Amazon has the most shoppers of any marketplace and they're trying to get on Amazon. Now this person, it can be a little bit trickier for the seller depending on how much, I guess, attention that brand already has, if they already have established marketing and a customer base that's looking for the product on Amazon, because you might not know how much traffic there's going to be already. But if you already have a brand and you're looking to get on Amazon and you don't understand the back end of Amazon, you don't understand all of the bull crap that Amazon throws your way, all of the different moving pieces, that's where it really can make sense for you to find a selling partner on Amazon who knows Amazon in and out and can just buy your products from you wholesale and then handle the rest from there. And yeah, maybe you as a brand owner, you might have smaller margins per unit of sale, but having an experienced selling partner will get your product selling faster, selling in higher volume and selling quicker. And then that partnership can be one that's mutually beneficial for the long term.
Yeah. Now, what do you see like some pain points that, private label brands have as they go on to Amazon, or maybe they're trying to get into some like other stores? What are some pain points that you see there?
Yeah. Well, the first pain point, and this is any inventory based business, but especially for private label, is just going to be cash flow. And we know this from doing private label ourselves. The time it takes from manufacturing in China, how depending on the product and how much volume you're getting produced, manufacturing can take about a month, and then it can take another month-ish to get shipped from overseas to here, assuming you're getting it manufactured in China. And that's a 2-month window before you can actually get your product on hand. And then it might take another month to sell through before you break even. So your cash flow cycle is longer than it would be if you're reselling. And it's also going to be a little bit harder to predict if you're launching new variations. And that's happened to us and some other brands that we work with too. Like if you have one listing and you want to test, a black color, blue, green, whatever, and then maybe you buy too much of one color or too little of one color, and then you have stock out issues, and then it takes another 2 weeks. So by partnering with a seller, that can help alleviate some of that cash flow, because then you have someone who's purchasing your product from you in bulk, which you can then use that cash to then go back and invest it into manufacturing more inventory. And then you also have someone who is dedicated to monitoring the stock levels, and you can communicate to make sure that your products are always in stock, work on getting those orders placed and having good inventory forecasting so that you're not having stock out issues and losing your sales rank that you spent a lot of money to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. And now for brands that aren't on Amazon, what kind of pain points do you see? Like, how do you explain the opportunity that Amazon is to them, and that, you're not just someone who's like trying to scam them or try to steal their product idea and sell it on, Amazon yourself, all that sort of stuff.
Right. I mean, the biggest pain point for a brand that isn't on Amazon is they're missing out on one of the biggest e-commerce opportunities, if not the biggest e-commerce opportunity that they have sitting in front of them. Another thing that will happen, where if a brand isn't directly on Amazon themselves, if it's a popular brand, there's most likely some third-party seller who created a listing for that brand without being authorized to do so. So then that listing might be inaccurate. It might be outdated. It might have customer complaints that, if the brand themselves or if an authorized seller of that brand was monitoring, could be fixed. So it could be damaging the brand image. But yeah, the main thing would just be like, unless if it's a product category or niche that isn't allowed on Amazon, there's really no reason why the brand shouldn't be on Amazon.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah. Now, what kind of software do you use for this type of brand direct outreach?
Yeah, so I think that the best thing is just to be aware of what's happening in your particular niche or whatever categories that you're operating in. Being on social media, seeing what's happening, getting connections through other sellers or other brand owners that you know and getting referrals, that's going to be the best way. But then you can always just do cold outreach to brands or vice versa from sellers using a platform like Keepa, going through and looking at different people's storefronts, seeing which brands they selling using Smart Scout. That is a+ tool for brand research because you can see brands by category, by estimated monthly revenue, by number of sellers. So you can determine if it's a brand that's already doing reselling, if it's a private label brand, that sort of stuff. That's the main tool that we use when we're doing cold outreach. But referrals and then just talking about what you're doing and being connected in the space so that you get warm leads and inbound leads is definitely the best way to build those relationships.
Yeah. Now, like, aren't you scared of like, a big player coming into town and like scooping up like all these brand direct deals, left and right? Is there really enough, supply for, your everyday kind of Amazon seller, to go from OA wholesale and now kind of looking to go into brand direct? Is there even room for, somebody like that?
100%. I mean, I am still mind blown at how many brands there are. I never thought I would be this brand aware in my life. And I've been looking at brands for the last 6 years, and I'm still seeing new brands every single day. And
Yeah.
most of the brands that I see could drastically improve their performance on Amazon. And either they're not doing it because they don't know that they could improve or they don't care, whichever reason. But yeah, there's so many brands out there and so many brands that could really, really benefit from a relationship with an exclusive third-party seller. So yeah, tons and tons of opportunity. And I think that opportunity from a seller's perspective is even there's more opportunity there than there is in, say, just arbitrage or wholesaling, because every arbitrage or wholesale opportunity has a very limited life cycle, but brand exclusive relationships have a much longer, multi-year, possibly even multi-decade life cycle. And that niche, I just don't think is tapped into as much as the reselling is, because the barrier to entry is a little higher, which is what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially that barrier to entry, that it's a little bit higher. It's exactly what you want because it just weeds out a lot of people. They just can't handle that amount of capital going out and not coming in the next 30 to 15 days. And that can
Yep.
really impact their business as well.
Exactly.
Awesome. Now, when you find somebody on Amazon that you want to reach out to, if they're already selling on Amazon, and you're going to their products, looking at all their listings, what are some things that you're finding on listings that you can then pitch to maybe the owner of that brand on how to improve?
Yeah. The most consistent things that I find with brands that are already on Amazon and selling, the most consistent issues are going to be, one, their listing pictures are terrible. And this is for a brand, not a private label brand. If it's a private label brand, most likely their listings are good because they're private label and they know what they're doing to launch. But for a brand that has resellers on it, their listings are normally terrible. They maybe have 2 or 3 images or even just 1 image opposed to using all 7. They don't have graphics on the images. There's no video. Their titles don't have enough keywords in it. Their description is non-existent. They're not brand registered. They don't have A+ content. They're not running PPC advertising. All of these things that take effort to implement, but are straightforward in the implementation, that if they did those things could 1.5 to 2x their revenue overnight. But the problem is they don't really want to put in the effort to do that because there are 5, 10, 30 sellers on the listing. And so they're just going to be splitting that revenue with other sellers, and it's not going to directly correlate back to them. And so again, they partner exclusively with the seller, who maybe helps them implement transparency to then have it be locked down, make sure all of their products are authentic, and then also get control of the pricing as well.
Yeah. And that's really huge. That's really good for them too. Because again, If it's a consistent product that they know is theirs and authentic, that's going to their customer, the more sales they're most likely going to have, the better reviews they're going to get.
100%.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know this was a shorter one, Kaj. We like to usually do longer than this, but this was a great talk about brand direct and why business owners need an Amazon partner.
Yep, 100%. All right, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Josh, thanks for chopping it up.
Absolutely.
We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.